Bitcoin realized vol pretty stable, about 32% on the week. ETH though did pop by about 5, so from 60 to 65. Front end vols in Bitcoin were pretty flat, still sitting at around 40, but Ethereum vols absolutely exploded in the front by about 20 points. Carry does look positive in both names now, about 7 to 8 vols in Bitcoin and about 12 in the front there of Ethereum. But I would say short gamma on Ethereum has been pretty stingy. You look at these charts, OHLC showing the high-low ranges with respect to the implied moves. Obviously, on the downside, we blasted pretty deeply through there. On the upside, we tested it. We then broke it yesterday. And, we've been testing it again today. So Ethereum's pretty wild animal right now. I don't think being short gamma as Ethereum has been a lot of fun for people, which is why the front end is getting bought so aggressively, it feels like a bit of a short covering in options type move there in those front end vols. Markets, like I said, do look like they're about to have another go at breaking the highs with Ethereum leading the charge here. So despite this positive carry, I think it's probably not the best time to smash out a load of gamma if we are about to take another leg higher and have another break to the upside. So we'd probably wait for us to fall back into the middle of the range before getting too excited about maybe trying to earn some theta again. All right, here are your curves. Term structure obviously inverted again on ETH and has flattened a bit on Bitcoin from quite a steep contango. Looking at the time series, you can see ETH here having this little stair-step move higher in the front end, but even dragging up some of the back expiries there. Skew's interesting. Skew last week on Bitcoin was sort of -3, so 3 for puts. Did reverse to about +1 or 2, has come back down in the front. So right now, if we look at the skew curves, we can see Bitcoin front end skews marginally input premium, but does flip to calls as we go out, but it only gets to about 1 to 1.5 vols call premium in Bitcoin. Ethereum, on the other hand, has caught a serious call bid, a load of call buying in the front end, helping push that skew from flat up to 4 vols for calls. It did get as steep as 7 vols for calls, but has faded a little bit back down to 4. And even those back end calls catching a bid, going to about 3 vols flat across the entire curve from kind of August onwards. Okay, that's what we're seeing in skew. And then if we look at relative value, pretty amazing on the relative value chart. The front end gamma spread has gone to 40 points. Ethereum over, obviously. This ETH BTC cross rate is it bounced off support, is kind of moving up towards this resistance at 0.026. If that breaks, we could get a proper move. Back end vols were also up, obviously nowhere near as much as the front, but they keep grinding higher. I've said they look expensive, but right now with what the gamma's doing, the back end isn't being allowed to fall. I do think at some point it's going to fall, but it's only going to happen once Ethereum kind of if it rejects the breakout and falls back to range trading, then that back end can really come in Vega terms. But right now it's just not happening. And then the skew curve showing us a consistent bias towards ETH calls across the whole curve relative to Bitcoin. And that's the first time we've seen that in quite some time, where ETH is bid across the whole curve for calls relative to Bitcoin, right? That hasn't happened in a while. Really, the options market's way of pricing in that they think the ETH upside break is happening, right? And it's happening imminently. That's why that front end is so well bid. So I'd say from what the options market's telling us, you probably don't want to be betting against the ETH break. It looks like the ETH break is about to happen, basically. All right, guys, that is my summary for Crypto Vol and what I'm seeing this week. I'll catch you guys same time, same place next week.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Remember, this is just a little taster of what we do at Options Insight. To get access to all our research, including my in-depth vol market insights, flows and positioning report, and my portfolio trades, and a whole lot more, you can sign up at options-insight.com. I'll see you soon.